Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the road trip to Old Trafford as Manchester United try to move forward in the Cup, Europa League football. If you don't get Champions League through winning the Europa League, this is another pathway to scramble our way to European football next season, because we sure as hell ain't getting it in the league at this moment. The Premier League, not looking good. The Cup competitions, that's where Manchester United have thrived. But what do they have to do to get to the next round? Well, after beating Arsenal at the Emirates with 10 men, by the way, in Arsenal again, is it going to be another trophyless season? I mean, Newcastle have just knocked them out of the Cup, so Arsenal, another season of no silverware. Manchester United might be doing poorly in the league, but we've got silverware at least under our belts. Ruben Amorim could really do with some silverware as well, but European football is the most important thing. After that tough win against Arsenal, away from home, backs against the wall, penalties, what a shame it would be to go out of the next stage of the Cup by losing to Leicester, relegation fodder at Old Trafford. And that's no disrespect to Leicester, because Manchester United are near enough relegation fodder nowadays. We are towards the back end of the table as well. But Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be coming to Old Trafford with a point to prove. We have actually played Leicester City 3 times in the last 100 days. So Manchester United are used to playing Leicester at this point. Will they be a tough opposition for Manchester United? I would like to say no, but I feel like any team coming to Old Trafford now is going to feel that confidence. Old Trafford is not a fortress. Manchester United are actually better away from home at this moment in time, and the pressure is on. Like, when you go into Old Trafford, you can feel the tense atmosphere, you can feel the pressure on the players, and when you're away from home, our away fans and our away support is the best away support in the entire world, in my opinion. The away support is incredible. In Old Trafford, you can feel the tension, you can feel the pressure on the players, because when you're at Old Trafford, you expect to go to Old Trafford and you expect to be the team that's dominating. You expect to go and score them goals, dominate the opposition, keep the possession. When you're away from home, there's little expectation of that, and I feel like the Manchester United players have thrived in that environment rather than being at home, which is why our home form has been so poor. But Ruud van Nistelrooy, since taking over Leicester City, hasn't really had a smooth ride himself, and I think actually bookies odds is one of the ones up there next to be sacked, even though he's kind of feels like he's just got the role. He did a good job as interim at Manchester United though, but let me bring up some stats to bring in before I tell you my starting 11. So, like I said, 3 times in the last 100 games we have played Leicester. United won 5-2 in the Carabao Cup in October and 3-0 in the Premier League in November. And that was actually under Ruud van Nistelrooy we got that result, so thank you Ruud for that one. He's now gone to manage Leicester off the back of it. But Leicester's form isn't looking great. They have lost 8 of their last 12 games under Ruud van Nistelrooy, conceding 28 goals and failing to keep a single clean sheet. Well, one thing I will say, if Ruud van Nistelrooy's after a clean sheet, Old Trafford at the moment is probably the best place to go. We can't score goals. We cannot score goals for the life of us, but we have to in this cup game, and if you don't, it goes to extra time, it goes to penalties, and then obviously one team has to go through. So we should be beating Leicester. I think there'd be big question marks if we didn't beat Leicester. What's the best team for Manchester United to put out to get the job done? A lot of people talking about rotation. Will there be rotation in this game? I actually would play my strongest team. You know, it's been quite a long week. It's a nice break. I feel like the players are refreshed, and I feel like the cup competitions is what Manchester United should be focusing on. Like I said, we're not going to get relegated in the Premier League, and we want to get European football through either the FA Cup and either the Europa League. So this is where I'd be putting all my eggs in that basket. I'd be going full Jose Mourinho. Amorim, a lot of people spoke about him as like a mini Jose Mourinho with his authority, his Portuguese and his younger years. That's the way I would be going. What team would I start? The team that I'm going to name, I highly doubt is going to be the team that Ruben Amorim lines up tomorrow night. I highly doubt it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's bold, it's edgy, it's out there, but I'm going with it. Bayindir in goal. There has been some reports that Bayindir might not be 100% fit and he's carrying a slight injury. So if that's the case, obviously Onana would have to go in goal, but Onana is only playing the Premier League games right now, and Bayindir is our certified cup goalkeeper under Ruben Amorim, giving him that opportunity, and he's played decently well in the last few cup games, and actually decently well. He was man of the match at Arsenal. He absolutely deserves to start this game. So Bayern in goal. Hopefully he can have a similar performance as he did against Arsenal if it gets to that. But we should be finishing Leicester off within 90 minutes, let's be real. Who can score the goals? Will it be Cobby up front? Who knows? But I'd be going Bayern in goal. My back three would be Mazraoui covering for Lisandro Martinez on the left-sided centre-back. Comfortable on both feet. I think he's a better centre-back in the Ruben Amorim system. He can play left-back, he can play right-back. He covers them spaces really well. He can drive into the midfield, which is what we miss from Lisandro Martinez. He goes in there for me for that bit of experience. Too early for Aiden Heaven. I then go De Ligt as the central centre-back, because I think De Ligt is just absolutely top drawer and has gone under the radar. He's battling with Ugarte for me for signing of the summer. Right-sided centre-back, I would go with Lenny Yoro. I like Lenny Yoro, and I think in this game he can start and he can cover that right space really well. Had a few edgy moments, but from the bench he's been playing super well, and I think Ruben Amorim really trusts this player. If he went with Maguire in this back three, by the way, I'd be absolutely fine with that as well against his old club. I would get that, I would understand that, but that's the back three that I personally would go for. My wing backs, this is where it gets bold, and this is where I don't think it'll happen, because I think he will play Amad at 10, but I would play Dorgu. We bought him for a reason. I know he's 20, I know he needs time to adapt. He's been playing games for Lecce week in, week out. You know, he's fit, he's ready, he's raring to go. Put him there. Old Trafford welcome. The fans will be loving it. I'd put him straight in, and it's not as if we've got, you know, prime Roberto Carlos at left wing back. It's not as if we've got prime Luke Shaw fit. Like, we're struggling. Dalot has been covering there. He's not the solution at left wing back, and we've been talking about how much of a problem area that has been for Manchester United. So I'd put Dorgu straight in at left wing back, and I would put Amad as the right wing back. Give us some pace on the wings. Give us some width. Everybody's seen how much more successful Manchester United have been with at least one attacking wing back there. You know, an Amad or an Anthony. The results don't lie. 67% of our games we've won with them there. And when you have Mazraoui and Dalot, we can't score goals. Our win rate is not as good. So I'd be going with that. Get some pace, get some power. And Amad, I think, has shone more as a wing back, even though just get him in the team, but that's where I'd go. My midfield two to hold it down would be Ugarte and Collier. I think Ugarte obviously is his first name on the team sheet, in my opinion. And he's looked a bit knackered recently, but he's had this whole week's break, and I think he's super important to this system. He goes on. And I think Collier is more than good enough to play in this game. There was actually rumours that Ruud van Nistelrooy was eyeing him up for a little bit of a loan spell at Leicester, but Ruben Amorim's brought him into his side, and he's done super well. He just does the simple stuff right. He's got that energy as well to cover in the midfield, especially if you're playing wing-backs that are bombing on with Amad and Dorgu. I think Collier would be there mopping up the trouble with Ugarte really well. My two 10s would be Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo. I can already hear people saying there's not enough mobility in them two 10s. Your mobility comes from your wingers as your wing backs, your Dorgu and your Amad. That's where the mobility comes. That's where the overlapping runs come. Imagine Amad linking up with, you know, Kobbie Mainoo on that side. They've got a great relationship anyway. And Bruno Fernandes, you know, getting closer to goal, very creative. Personally, I have preferred him a little bit deeper under Ruben Amorim. I've made that clear. But I think when he is deeper, we sometimes lack his creativity closer to goal. So it's kind of like, you know, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I would move Bruno closer, just because if he does get that opportunity, we know he can finish really well, and he's a goal scorer if you get him in the right positions. And then up top, flip a coin between Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund. Absolutely none of them have been impressing me recently, and they've clearly not been impressing Ruben Amorim either, because they were both on the bench at the start of the last game. So that's where I would move with that one. The striker, to be honest, we're in a sticky situation. I mean, I wouldn't bat an eyelid if he put Chido or Martin up front tomorrow night, to be honest with you. I don't think you would be able to get much worse than what we've had currently. I'd probably edge towards Rasmus Højlund if I had to pick one, just because I think he gives you that little bit of pace, and we might need that in the setup that I'm going with. I don't think Ruben Amorim is going to pick the side that I've just lined up, but if I was managing, I'd be leaning towards going with that, and they are my reasons why. What do I think the score prediction will be? Well, Leicester have conceded in their last 28 matches. Let me have a look back at my stat board. Leicester have conceded... Oh, yeah, sorry, they've lost 8 of their 12 games, conceding 28 goals and failing to keep a clean sheet. So they've failed to keep a clean sheet in 12 games and conceded 28 goals. Surely now Man United can get a goal, and that's exactly why I'd start Ahmad and Dorgo at wing backs, because you're so much more likely to get goals that way. So much more likely. And then I'm just looking. They lost 4-0. At Goodison Park to David Moyes' Everton. He's got a bit of a new manager bounce, David Moyes, going on, to be honest with you. But 4-0 they got defeated. I mean, Ruben Amorim as well. We've picked 14 points up from the last 13 Premier League games. He'll need to win this game. And we've scored only 28 goals in 24 Premier League matches. Only Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton and Everton average less. And that's exactly why I say we are where we should be in the table. Because if you actually just go and look at the Premier League table as well, look at the teams that have scored less than us. Southampton, Ipswich, Leicester and Everton, they're all below us in the table. The only ones that are below us that have scored more than us are Tottenham, West Ham and Wolves, and you could argue they've all got better attacking players than us. Up front we are struggling, and that's why I think the pace and the width of them wing backs could really help us if we go with that lineup. But that's what I'm going with. Get in the comments down below what you would go with. My score prediction, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go with 3-1 to Manchester United. I don't know why I keep putting faith back into this team, but it's a cup competition. That is where Manchester United thrive. It is do or die. We've got to have something to look forward to as fans this season. You know, a Wembley trip would just light the fan base up. I've seen people trying to give tickets away recently. You know, Old Trafford, it's become a chore to go and watch the team. We need something, and the cup competitions is what's keeping these fans going at this moment in time. So we've got to go there. We've got to win. No excuses against Leicester. Don't let all that hard work down at the Emirates go to waste. Thank you for watching, everyone, and come on, United.